Okay, we're live. Welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. We are playing a game of Metamorphosis Alpha. It's a game that my friends here just introduced me to yesterday. So I went and bought a copy of the PDF. I've read almost half of it, probably about half of it at this stage, and very much kind of going in with little knowledge of how the system works, but we're going to work it all out together. It shouldn't be too difficult. We've got characters already made up and a basic starting point for our adventure, so I will introduce my players one at a time here. You guys can, say what you like about yourselves and your projects, and then tell us about your characters. So you want to go first, Philip?
Yes, I'm Philip, and I created Barbasol. His name was handed down generations and generations. It's often listed on these cylinder-like products that we've used and played with as children. I'm not incredibly dexterous or strong, but I've managed to live off of the graces of clip, clop, chop, chop for a few years, and it's been a good life here in the woods.
Clip, clop, chop, chop. That's going to be canon for the name of your deity.
Well, it is our deity. I mean, he's the provider.
That's perfect. I like it.
He keeps the forest clean.
Okay. So, John, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
I'm John, and my character is Kamel. Spelled like camel, but pronounced like Kamel. It's also an old family name from, bygone era of things in the past. Pretty healthy guy, but just not the strongest feller in the tribe. People seem to like me, though. I have pretty good leadership, and also very intrigued by clip, clop, chop, chop. I spend a lot of time in the woods observing clip, clop, chop, chop without getting too close for fear of being mistaken for an animal or something. And
he is too modest. He is the soon leader of our tribe. He is amazing in all things. Sure, there are other people to lift things for him. I often help. But
what a dramatic role reversal, right?
Excellent.
Oh, man.
And since my players are too modest to plug themselves, I will just throw out a quick plug. Philip and John here, they run a game store in downtown Port Clinton for all of my friends back home in Ohio called Games. And they also run a company called Effin' Cool Minis, who I will, if I don't forget, I will definitely put a link in the description of the video. If anyone wants to check out their minis products, check out their Kickstarters and throw them support, would be greatly appreciated. So I'm going to quickly, if you guys don't mind, I just want to read the first couple of sections here, the introduction to the game, since it's a new game to me and probably to anybody, a lot of people anyway, who might be watching this. So, Metamorphosis Alpha. Mankind's urge to explore and expand its frontiers finally caused another push into the vastness of space. First interplanetary and then interstellar. By the 23rd century, a great migration wave was spreading from old Terra to the hundreds of inhabitable worlds that had been discovered in the Milky Way galaxy. During the next 100 years, colonization ships of all types and descriptions went out to the stars, bearing seedling colonies seeking a better life. Many found their new homes, for better or for worse, but for one reason or another, scores of these starships never reached their destination. This game is based on just such an event, the fate of a colony ship that became lost. The Starship Warden was created from the designs used in the United Western Starship Cartel program, and it was laid down in the Trans-Plutonian Space Yards in 2277. The design was the most ambitious ever attempted, the blueprints calling for an oval spheroid of tremendous size using a new metal alloy of tensile strength previously unknown. The ship was an incredible 50 miles in length, with a width of 25 miles and a height of 8.5 miles. Additional levels above and below the central one brought the total number of decks to 17. Warden required 11 years to complete and did not leave the Sol system until 2290 because of the effort required to outfit the starship. The vessel contained complete Terran environments, and the colonists were not rigidly screened for the expedition, for it was held that Warden's accommodations would place few physical or psychological stresses upon colonist or crewmen. A description of the starship's levels as well. Sorry, I skipped that part. That's little game stuff. So what we can say is With its cargo of the flora and fauna of Earth, 1.5 million colonists and 50,000 crew members, the wonder of the interstellar colonization age set forth to found a new world many light years from its old home. Some 1/3 of the way to the planetary destination that had been selected for Warden stretched the very fringe of a cloud of space radiation. This cloud had been charted and analyzed so that Warden's captain was aware that he was to plot a course to avoid any possible danger. Somehow, the vessel still came too close to the radiation, and the cloud contained disaster. The energy given off at the fringes of this celestial hazard was foreign to all previously known radiation types. It passed through every one of the ship's protection systems and defense screens. The effects on the ship itself were startling. The worst hit were the colonists aboard, and most of the human beings exposed to the radiation simply turned to piles of calcium with no advanced symptoms. Hard hit also were the flora and fauna that underwent mutation, if they even survived at all. Even some of the vessel's systems were affected and unstable. Radioactive areas were caused from the cloud's radiation. The humans who survived the initial exposure discovered too late that life forms in their natural setting, such as the ecologically prepared forest areas and the like, seemed to have the greatest resistance to the effects of the radiation. A few of the crew and colonists then took to living in the huge parks of Warden. A handful remained who tried to restore sanity and order to the starship. They failed. Life became a struggle merely to survive for those humans that were left. In this struggle, all knowledge of the ship's mission, or even, in fact, that the humans were on a ship, was lost. Ship systems were maintained in a minimum operative state by the vessel's main computer and the robots that were operating at the time of the cloud's entrance into the starship. Later generations of humans lost all sense of identity, with the ship regressing into a state of savagery. Life quickly stabilized, as it has a habit of doing, with new life forms created from exposure to the unknown radiation. The humans settled into a tribal way of life, and those few that traveled and came back told of areas where the animals walked like men, and plants were able to walk and move. The vessel traveled on past its assigned planet, with its safety systems preventing the ship's destruction by crashing into a planet or burning up in the sun. It is only a matter of time until even those almost perfect systems fail and the starship dies. Until that time, life continues to flourish and the Warden travels on, much changed from what it once was. So that's the basic background of the game. This, of course, is ancient history, things that's not even known anymore to your tribe. We've determined that you guys live in a forest environment, a deep forest environment. You live in a small, isolated village there, probably of, let's say, maybe several hundred, maybe possibly a couple thousand souls at most. Your people have come to worship a forest ecology robot that operates in the area to help maintain the forests which surround you. As I described, it's a very large robot, has several different tentacle arms of great length that come out of it. It has a few revolving, rotating light systems on top of its head that can produce extremely bright light when necessary. It also hovers above the ground using its anti-gravity measures and propulsion. And although it's obviously far superior to any mere squishy, fleshy human, it has never done anything to harm or even touch any of the people of your tribe. And as such, you've come to worship it as a benevolent deity. So, the two of you living in your village hear a ruckus one day. There's a big hubbub in the village. People are shouting. You hear sounds of distress, women crying, children panicking. You come out of your individual huts or places of work and see everybody gathering in the center. And the town elder, a man by the name of Durham, raises his hands and says, "Good people, please do not panic. It seems that something has gone wrong with Clip Clop Chop Chop," which is the name you guys have chosen for your deity, the forest ecology robot. Clip Clop Chop Chop was noticed to have stopped moving late in the night hours. The lights were on for a long period of time, but for some reason, Clip Clop Chop Chop had touched the ground and didn't seem to possess the ability to rise again.
What?
Many strange sounds of agony and pain were heard coming from Clip Clop Chop Chop until it ceased to make any sound this morning. I'm afraid our benevolent caretaker lies in a state of seeming repose 2 kilometers outside of the village. We have heard tales of distant lands with strange abilities, magics. We would ask if anyone would be brave enough to take up the call and travel to one of these far lands to see if there's anything that can be done to restore our benefactor. He looks around.
I would lead such a group of people.
Yes,
And
come.
all those that have ever left have never returned.
But it's our God. We must do something.
It's scary, but yes. Kamal is right.
Without Clip Clop Chop Chop, we will all die.
And people start to really freak out when you say that, and panic increases. And Durham is raises, no, please, calm, don't panic. We cannot be sure that what Kamel says is true.
If now is not the time to panic, then when panic? When the forest comes to overtake us?
There were so many times that Clip Clop Chop Chop removed vicious animals that seemed they were going to attack us.
Would you have us wait?
No, indeed not. And Kamel, you are known to be one of our strongest and bravest.
Time is now. Brothers and sisters, who is with me? Who among you will take up this charge with me?
Well, I, Barbasol, though I fear it may be quite a dangerous task, I am willing to go this route with you, my friend Kamel.
Is there no one else in this village brave enough?
And a few others speak up. 3 in total. A man by the name of Marley. Another named Northwood. And finally, one known only as Max.
This isn't the Miracle Max we've heard of.
No, he isn't bad.
He's actually a Maxwell, but he prefers just Max.
Just Max.
He's always so angry.
So the 3 of them also volunteer to go. And Durham says, yes, it's good. 5 men. This is a number that is manageable. You will still be able to travel lightly enough that you can hopefully avoid detection by any rival tribes or anything out there that perhaps Clip Clop Chop Chop can no longer protect us from. But you'll have enough.
Get the village's best equipment for our task.
Of course. What is your village's best equipment? I'll let you guys decide.
That's tough because Durham is the keeper of the equipment, so it's shoot the ball right back at you, bro.
There we go. That's fine. So you will be equipped with cured hide armors and shields, which will give you armor classes of 4. Weapons, you can have swords and bludgeoning type weapons, whichever you like. These would be weapon class 3 weapons. If you want, you can also have bows or spears or both for hunting purposes and such.
I was imagining more of a spear for myself, a spear and shield.
Okay, yep. Spear is a weapon class 2. I want to just write that down.
and I will take a sword.
Okay, so yep, that's a weapon class 3. It's what would we say the sword is made of? You guys live here in the forest. I'll say it's a bone sword. It's made of the bone of some large animal. Yeah.
Like a crate dragon.
Yeah, maybe something more like no, I don't know. You don't know what kind of animal it came from. It's some ancient animal that you've never seen alive. Yeah. Anyway, maybe it was a dragon. Sounds like a good legend.
There is this club here that resembles what used to be a socket wrench. What weapon class is that?
That's a weapon class 3. Okay. Aside from that, your technology level is quite low, so
Yes.
This is damage. Yeah, that's damage caused by weapons. You want to know your damage for weapons, by the way. Your spear against humanoid beings does 1 to 6 damage, and it does 1 to 4 against mutated creatures. Okay.
Okay.
Did somebody take a bow?
I would take a bow.
Longbow?
No.
Normal bow, yeah?
Yeah, normal.
Okay, so it does 1 to 6 against anything, basically. It's all 1 to 6 for that.
Okay.
The sword will do. Why do I not see sword on here? That's very strange. Normal sword, there you go. It does 1 to 6 against humans or humanoids and 1 to 4 against mutated creatures, yep. Same as the spear. And that that club-like weapon, I'm going to call it a normal mace, does 1 to 8 against humanoid beings or 1 to 6 against mutated creatures.
This club does better than my sword.
Yep.
We're going to have a talk to Mr. Ward.
Well, for one, technology of stainless steel.
That just means it doesn't get dirty, dude. It doesn't rust.
So, there you have it.
Okay.
It is said that to the northeast, there's meant to be a place of transition. Many of the wise men of the village have said that something beyond lies to the northeast, perhaps a holy land or a promised land, but one that your people have never felt safe enough to try to travel to. However, given these circumstances and given the desperate need for some kind of intervention, it is probably your best bet to go in that direction and see what you can find. The worst case scenario is that you never return, and in which case it would be no different than if nobody had left in the first place. So,
well,
you can get plenty of rations and stuff too, by the way, of course, because you guys are a hunter-gatherer society, so you can have plenty of food and things to take along with you.
This is an endeavor indeed. I propose that we go get a blessing from Clip Clop Chop. There's still power in him, I believe, and I just want to make sure that should the dangers out there take me, that my soul will be restored and somehow Clip Clop Chop will come back to protect all of you.
I agree.
Excellent.
Let's go visit Clip Clop Chop Chop.
First stop, Clip Clop Chop Chop.
Seems like a plan.
Excellent. So Clip Clop Chop Chop is currently to the northwest of the village, but that's okay. It's only a couple of kilometers. It won't take you too far out of your way. And you'll be able to get there, in less than an hour anyway, easily. So you travel on foot. I'm going to say for purposes. Marley has one of those mace-like, wrench-like weapons. Northwood is using an axe. And Max is going to have a spear as well. And Marley and Northwood both also have bows. And you guys are all wearing the same kind of, cured hide armors and shields. Okay. Excellent.
We will be amongst the first to actually touch the great flop chop chop. This is an amazing trek before our deaths.
I don't think touching him is a good idea.
It's in the kind of almost early morning hours now, so you will reach Clip Clop Chop Chop by late morning at the very latest. When you get there, it is extremely thick forest here. Trees are very close together. So much so that Clip Clop Chop Chop actually has roots that he usually travels so that he can actually fit between the trees. And he has cultivated these roots, often moving trees and taking trees down where necessary in order to facilitate his movements. So when you do get to Clip Clop Chop Chop, it's a bit more of a clearing, a bit of a wider space, probably, I would say, at least 50 feet wide. Sort of like a cleared path, except for the fact that the grass is pretty high because Clip Clop Chop Chop doesn't walk on the ground. He floats above it. Normally, anyway. At the moment, he is crashed, as it were, up against a tree, which is partially falling over from the impact. And he is askew, partially obscured, in the mud and earth where he has crashed into this tree. And it's strange. You've never seen him so silent. There's absolutely no sound, no movement. The lights are not on. It's a very sad sight when you see your god in this way, just dead, basically, as far as you can tell.
Oh, dear Clip Clap Chop Chop. Oh, benevolent God.
There's about a half a dozen warriors of your tribe kind of standing guard around him. They let you guys approach because they have heard of your coming.
Are some of the tentacles that you described earlier?
Are they extended or retract?
The three manipulating tentacles are all extended, but just hanging limply down to the ground. The other two more specialized tentacles are completely retracted at the moment.
Out of curiosity, and maybe I missed it, did you say roughly how big Clip Clop Chop Chop's main chassis is, the main body?
I don't think I ever specified, but I'm going to say, given the length of those tentacles, his main chassis is about 25 feet in diameter. It's very circular and almost, I picture it as being kind of almost like UFO shaped in a sense.
It's a Jamor robot.
Is it?
Yeah, that's kind of, he likes a lot of circular kind of robot things, like that older look. So it seems right on par.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I hit that on accident.
How close has any of the villagers got to Clip Clop Chop Chop?
They're all standing kind of in a circle around him, about 10 feet away from him.
Well, I am of the notion that I would want to get close to him to whisper to him. So if I would climb a tentacle to get to the chassis, or
well, I mean, you can climb the chassis. It's no longer hovering. It is crashed into the ground. And like I said, it's kind of sticking up askew a bit because it's crashed on one side and hit this tree, which is now kind of leaning over it a bit, from the damage of the impact. And as you start to touch Clip Clop Chop Chop, some of the warriors become very uneasy. What are you doing?
Well, first I would place my hands on it in solemn prayer and be like, you've watched over us for so long, and if I can find a way to help you in any way, I will.
The warriors are very uncomfortable with this, and a couple of them are walking over to you with their spears kind of out, and he's touching our god. Blasphemy. You see this Kamel. They're looking kind of, they're not sure what to do, but they look jumpy.
Well, I don't know what to do because I'm not sure why you went and touched the thing, but
My God.
I know.
I feel very sad that my God is laying on the ground.
But didn't you ever learn that you don't touch your gods?
One of the guards is.
I've always been kind of small. I've always wanted to aspire to bigger things.
Cannot allow such blasphemy. He must be punished. And he's hefting his spear and he's getting ready. You can tell Kamel that he's about to hurl the spear at Barbasol, who's still leaning against it, his eyes closed and not even looking, his back to it.
I'm going to, with my shield, get in the way.
Okay.
Stand down. Stand down. We are on an official journey to help Clip Clop Chop Chop.
Okay.
You have no authority.
Roll 3d6 for me, please. Roll 3d6 for me. Yeah. I don't know if the mechanics work this way. This is just my own.
This is the way the mechanics work. And what Jim will often do, or at least what he did in our thing, would be like, oh, whatever you do, don't roll below 15 or whatever,
Well, what I was going to say is, what's your leadership score?
My leadership is 15.
Okay, so don't roll over 15.
Over 15? Close, man. 12.
Okay, so you successfully talk this guy down. It's kind of an old school, ability to check, you know what I mean? So, So he kind of lowers a spear and says, Kamel, yes, I suppose you're right, but look what he's doing. Do you support this?
I do support it. We know that Barbasol has always been strange, but he is also one of the few that stood with me when it came time to take this mission on. So, every village must have its idiot. I'm not sure what our village is doing while we're away.
And Max, who has never been a big fan of Barbasol, says, I don't know. I think maybe you should kill him just to be safe. He could be doomed upon our mission.
Max, you should hold your tongue. Barbasol's our brother.
Yeah.
We are bonded by more than blood.
I'm pretty sure I have brought doom to previous missions, but sorry, I'll stop touching it.
Okay. You noticed when you touched him, anyway, the metal was it was cool to the touch, whereas he's always, as close as anyone's ever come to him when he was operational, he's always emitted some kind of a heat.
Okay. So he's shut down for sure. He is dead. What I think we should do is that we should try and travel his pathways to find where Clip Clop Chop Chop calls home.
Or to find did some other god come and destroy and slay Clip Clop Chop Chop?
Well, whatever decision we make, surely it's easier traveling along his routes of clearing than trying to fight our way through the jungles. And
did anybody smash Clip Clop Chop Chop? Should we inspect Chop 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 for damage?
Yeah, I mean, we'll look Clip Clop Chop Chop over for more damage to see if it looks like
some other god
smited him or something.
Okay. So are you going to start climbing up on him to start walking around where you can get vantage point? Because you won't be able to see.
I think we
can't much
do
larger than any of you. So.
Well, I'm saying I think we could probably just try and circle around it as much as we can. Just get a good visual to see if it looks like there's damages that wouldn't come from him hitting trees on his way down. Look for
smashed something powerful enough, like a similar size.
I totally get you. Yeah, as you walk around, you kind of looking for any scarring or damage on it. You don't see anything, except for in the location where it's crashed into this tree in the ground. It's become muddied a bit, and it looks like there's the tiniest hint of a scratch on the metal where it collided with this gigantic tree.
Hmm. Maybe some of the younger generation that didn't have faith in Clip Clop Chop Chop has deprived him of the energy that he needed to continue to support us. It is sad.
And Max speaks up again and says, well, you heard Durham. We should travel northeast. Look for this so-called chosen land. The place of the transition.
Yes.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
So then we will abandon the path of Cliff Clop Chop Chop.
That's fine.
Yes. Our God is now in the past.
We're easily led. We're
Guess
easily
so. That was easy. Okay. So Max now seems to think he's taking command of this expedition. Says, "Follow me," and he starts marching ahead with his spear in hand. Marley and Northwood fall in behind him.
Don't worry about us all. There's an old village saying that the early bird gets the worm, but I prefer this other saying that the early worm gets fucking eaten. Let him be the early bird. We'll put him up front.
I just don't know why he has to be so mad all the time. That Max.
You make him angry. You make him very mad.
It has something to do with some antics of yours. At one point in time, you cock blocked him or something, and ever since then,
He has no
he's never forgiven.
The one chance I actually got far with a girl, and he happened to be there. I'm sorry.
So you travel along well into the afternoon, and you notice the light starts to dim a bit, just because the trees are getting thicker and thicker. You can still see hints of the sunlight through the canopy, but only in little spots here and there. For the most part, it's very very, very shady here under these large trees, and you think you sense it's probably going to rain pretty soon. You can always tell when it's coming. The ground gets a bit dry, and a certain scent comes on the wind, and you know it's probably going to rain soon.
I mean, approximately how, we're probably still noonish, like
Early afternoon.
Like early afternoon. Just out of curiosity, out of game, do we, when rains come in our world, are they large, heavy rains? Is it something that we would know to set aside and try and prepare for as a general rule? Or
no, generally the weather is always just enough. It's just about right. It never rains torrentially, but you never have a drought either.
So we would just keep marching on is the point. We wouldn't be wanting to set up camp yet.
Yeah, you'd be able to use your shields probably to kind of, if need be, to keep your heads dry if you really felt the need. But the temperature is quite comfortable.
Barbasol, use your shield to guard my hair. My hair is important to me. Let's keep it dry at all times.
What's your strength, John?
8.
Carmel's strength is 8. Okay. And what's your strength, Barbasol?
10.
So you're actually a little bit taller than him. So
Right. So that would work. Very well, my friend. I appreciate what you did for me earlier.
Well, don't forget, my leadership is a lot higher than his. So.
Yeah. I actually referred to you earlier as one of the strongest of the tribes. You're not actually literally one of the strongest, but you're one of the healthiest.
One of the healthiest. When you said that earlier, I took it to mean more just a healthy, vibrant specimen.
Yeah, and you've got great leadership qualities and things too. So yeah,
I'm right
tremendously good looking.
I'm actually right behind him on leadership. I just I mess up a lot.
it starts to rain lightly, and first you just hear it kind of hitting the leaves and hitting the trees, and then you start to feel little bits coming through and dropping down around you. As it does, Max begins to complain. What?
Why is Max always so mad?
I don't know.
He says, we should stop here. It's time for lunch.
And what did you bring to eat, Max? Did you bring enough for all of us?
You are to bring your own provisions. If you don't have anything to eat, then go hunt for your lunch.
Well, Max, I have plenty to eat. But as the group leader, shouldn't you have been the one to bring all that?
If you cannot meet your own needs, then you'll starve. It's as simple as that.
What is that?
And he looks at Barbasol when he says that. He says, nature has a way of sorting out the weak. And he starts to pull out some of his jerky rations. And
I'm content to do as he says. Come on, please. We mustn't fight amongst ourselves. We need to be
Marley
uniform.
and Northwood kind of chuckle a little bit. And
So we stop and eat then.
Stop and eat.
okay, you guys have a bit of a lunch. It's raining lightly. You pick up and you travel on. And you get then into the late afternoon with nothing too eventful occurring. And then it starts to get into the early evening hours, and it starts to get a lot darker because the sun is now disappearing well below the kind of tree canopy. And Max says, well, we should probably set up camp for the night. We'll build a fire here.
Are you sure fire's a good idea?
Of course it's a good idea. Why wouldn't it be?
Because fires attract things from the wild. We no longer have clip, clop, chop, chop to keep all of that in check.
Well,
I agree with you. If it's not too cold, we can make do.
We don't have any ladies on this expedition, do we? I think we could do without a fire.
Ooh.
That was a pee slap. Build one if you must. Build one if you must, Max.
no, by all means, come out. And he you guys sees the look in Marley's and Northwood's eyes, and they're kind of leaning more towards you at the moment. And he says, no, I'll take your advice under consideration. We'll go without a fire this night. It's not cold anyway.
I'm certainly not cold.
So what will you do to pass the time? I mean, it's going to be probably 12 hours it will pass before you'll have enough light to start to travel again.
Well, we should probably set somebody to watch. Maybe set up some kind of a perimeter around our encampment.
Yeah.
Kind of define an area and stake it out as ours.
Yeah, you got a nice spot up against a rather large tree, which would give you, in case of an attack or something, you have something to put your backs against if you need to, or you can easily, you have every other direction you can move to if need be. You set up a watch system.
Yeah. Is the tree climbable then? Supportable? You said it's a large tree.
It's large.
Yeah, well, I would assume you guys would probably have certain tools and stuff for climbing. I mean, being that you're a forest-dwelling tribe, you probably would do a lot of tree climbing.
Pretty
And
good.
going on an armored expedition as well.
Mm-hmm. Imagine like climbing spikes and such, you know what I mean, to kind of help you.
Mm-hmm. Being a forest dwelling, are we also comfortable with sleeping in the trees?
Well,
and hammocks and such.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Maybe off of the forest ground would be safer.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
It's been raining most of the day too, so it'd be more comfortable probably as well.
Yeah. Well, let's set that up then. We've got this nice healthy tree. Pray to the tree spirit,
Okay.
you know, for sheltering us and all that jazz.
Hopefully, hope that it will look after you in the absence of clip, clop, chop, chop.
Yep. Lesser spirit, but still great in its own right.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, set up watches. I mean, we've got 3 bows amongst us. I'm sure we could keep an eye out.
Yep. And as the sun starts to kind of disappear and it gets darker and darker in the forest, you hear the sound of wolves in the distance. Sounds like they're hunting something.
I mean, do we have a directionality, or is it just wolf call?
It's to the north of you.
Okay.
You're heading to the northeast.
And it sounds normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing too unusual about it. Just sounds like wolves hunting some kind of prey. It never gets too close to you. And eventually stops.
The idea makes me hungry, so I eat a little bit of my rations.
Sure.
I would say that's probably a wise plan. I'm going to eat some stuff also.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then unless anything else happens, we're just content to wait out the night, rest as much as possible for the unknown that awaits. You know, recount.
Would you guys still do a watch schedule since you're sleeping in the tree, or?
I would still think a watch schedule would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Not the worst.
If you're up in hammocks up in the tree, how do you go about waking up the next person for their watch?
Screaming. Stones, maybe.
Everybody wake up! It's watch change. Yeah, stones works. Throw stones at each other.
All right. Yep. I'll just recount the happier days. You know, try to get to sleep with even though it's a little anxious where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
But rest, relax in the arms of the trees and swaying in the hammock and listening to the gentle sounds of wolves in the distance.
And what's the watch order? Max is going to take first watch.
I'll take second watch.
We do probably 4 watches.
Seems good. We'll let Barbara sleep the night through.
Kamel, you're taking second.
Yes.
And then Marley on third. Northwood on fourth. He'll bring in the dawn. Okay. So you guys are sleeping relatively peacefully, dreaming as you were. And you wake up, Kamel, with a stone hitting you. And you hear Northwood saying, "Wake up!" Stone hits you as well, Barbasol. Can I just call you Barbie?
Barbie.
No.
No? Okay.
Barb.
Can I just call you asshole?
You can call me Barb.
The last part of
They do call me Barb for sure.
Barbasol. I'm sorry, I meant a soul, not asshole. Asshole.
Soul.
That's all.
Some people call me Barb. Some people call me a soul.
So yeah, stones are hitting you, and you're waking up to Northwood's panic voice saying, "Wake up! Wake up! Marley's gone."
Marley's gone? What watch is it?
It's almost dawn. He didn't wake me from my watch, and you can see him now. He's kind of sitting up in his hammock, and you hear Max kind of grumbling and saying, "Oh, keep it down. What's all the fuss?" And he's
Marley's gone.
jumping up.
Wake up.
Where did he go? He'll be
Where's
back
his hammock?
soon. You see his hammock is empty. And it's also like twisted up in a weird way.
Not like in that Looney Tunes way where they took him and spun him around in it.
Well, it is kind of twisted up like that, yeah, but it doesn't look like anybody's inside of it.
Okay.
And you can see his pack is like half hanging from the branch below the hammock, one of the branches nearby. So it looks like maybe something grabbed him or something. There was some kind of a struggle or something that twisted up his hammock and his pack started to fall. And you can actually see some of the contents of his pack are down on the forest floor below you. Max says he probably just went to the toilet or something. Go back to sleep.
Max woke. You did wake him up for his watch, right?
It was Kamel. Kamel woke Marley up for his watch.
Okay.
Yeah. I woke him for his watch. And then I laid down. He woke up fine. Something's taking him. He wouldn't just leave.
So who's...
And Northwood looks at Kamel suspiciously.
Why are you looking at me?
Check the branch. Move over to the branch that Marley was on. Try to inspect.
Sure. Do you want to give me a dexterity check? Roll 3d6.
Sure. That is a 7, 8, 9.
And what's your dex?
10.
Yep, no problem. So you're able to maneuver over to his branch and get over to where his stuff is. And you can see his hammock is twisted up, and you can see there is blood sprayed on it, dripping.
Oh my God!
Something's killed him.
There's blood here.
And Northwood says, and you were the last one to see him alive, Kamel.
But why would we suspect ourselves when
Right.
we're...
Right. Why would I have anything to do with his death or disappearance?
Yeah, why are we casting aspersions at each other? We need to find out what we face.
Damn it, Max, wake up. Marley's dead. And Max
No.
sits up now. He's like, what? Huh? What? Dead?
We
What?
don't
I
know
thought he went to the bathroom.
that's missing.
What do you mean he's dead? And he's looking over at Barbasol, says, what did you do to him? He sees the blood. He sees you standing kind of in Marley's hammock area.
Yeah. Always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's your lot in life.
And Northwood says, damn, Max, Barbasol didn't do it. That idiot couldn't kill Marley if he tried. I just woke them up, same as you. He says Kamel though was the last one to see him. He's the one that woke Marley up for his watch. And Max says, well, is that true, Kamel? You woke him up for his watch?
I did wake him up, and he woke up fine, and I laid down and went to sleep.
He's looking up at the sky. He says, it's almost dawn.
And Marley did wake Northwood up for his watch, or he didn't?
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
Okay.
So we're probably
nearly time for your watch to end, Northwood. And are you saying?
So there is some light
Wait.
coming in. We can see on the branch if there's any blood trail on the branch near him.
or was it all just dripping?
Good call. Good call. So you're looking around, checking and seeing. And yeah, you actually do see some more blood. It takes you a little bit of time before you do notice it because it's actually higher up in the tree. And you can see a splash of blood against the trunk of the tree there.
There's something living in this tree. Great spirit of this tree. Why did you not warn us? Why did you let us stay here in comfort?
Our God has failed us.
Our God is dead. That's Northwood.
Then what's our point in going on? Without our God, what are we?
We'll find a new God. We'll find a new God. The promised land.
Max says, God damn it, you idiots, shut up. Get down to the floor. We'll talk about this below. He starts striking his hammock and preparing to climb down.
Okay.
And he says, "You, Barbasol, bring Marley's stuff down with you."
I will.
We can divide it amongst ourselves.
So that'll keep you busy. It'll keep you busy for a good 10 minutes or so, getting ready to, strike your hammocks, gather your gear, climb down below. And Max looks at Northwood with a stern look, and he says, "Clip, clop, chop, chop is not dead. He's sleeping. We're going to go get something. Do something to wake him up. If everybody starts panicking and losing their shit, we're all going to die out here. I don't really want to die. Do you, Barbasol?"
I don't fear death anymore. I have already resigned myself to that.
No one wants to die.
Hopefully the tree spirit takes you next, Barbasol. Kamel, you're useful at least.
So you think.
That's what you think. I'm not useful. I suggest we have a quick breakfast and move on. It'll take us probably a couple more days to get to our destination.
I'm sorry, Max. I have no appetite. I think we should just move on. I want to shake this horrible experience from my head.
Speak for yourself. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Can't we eat on the way?
No. We move after we've eaten.
Don't you know it's not healthy to eat on the go?
I didn't read that blog.
Oh my gosh.
So you guys break, well, not all of you, but Max, Northwood has a little bit to eat. Max eats pretty heartily. And he starts divvying out Marley's stuff amongst you. No point in it going to waste.
All right. Food.
Mm-hmm. He rolls up the blood-stained hammock and puts it in Marley's pack, and he tosses that pack to Barbasol and says, "Here, you can carry that."
No. I'm not carrying that. There's no point in carrying it. There's no point in carrying an extra pack.
What are we going to do?
I'm already loaded with gear.
What are we going to do if we find him?
Exactly.
We should for him. He'll come back here. He's up in the tree somewhere. Where he
Besides,
gets down.
you never know. We might need the materials. We're going to need the pack before this is all done.
That pack is property of our community.
I guess village. Being the strongest amongst us.
You are the strongest.
Gotta
You
do
can
this.
carry that. What's your...
I figure you can't screw up carrying a pack. Can you, Barbasol?
I'm sure I can find a way.
I believe you could.
Every village has an idiot. Why did ours have to come on this expedition?
I thought this was like open invitation.
It was, but I asked for the bravest and the strongest.
Yeah. Helmet of courage, man. It's a bucket.
Even Northwood says, "God, why did it have to take Marley? Couldn't it have taken him?"
Everybody thinks the other guys are dumb.
Always manage expectations.
Mm-hmm. So you guys travel on. And actually, I want to take a quick bio break. So I'm just going to step away for 2 minutes, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Multi-fantastic dimensions.
That's a cool logo.
Yeah.
Is that his or is that?
Yeah, I think so. This is ours. Well, we could do more with that. Especially if we plan to do some more of these. I did meet somebody on Twitter. Said something about interviewing us once we get our kids started going. I think he's in Spain. And I did mention that we plan to do at least an interview again, like we did last time. I like that. It wasn't bad.
Good. We did have a comment that came back from the survey already. I don't know. He's recording this.
Oh, yeah,
usually we fix. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. I'm refreshed.
The tree being Cook. Kamel.
What? I didn't approve this.
You woke up, you came back from your bio break, and he's gone. No, he was going to go check on the printer for a minute.
No problem. We'll resume as soon as he returns. Hope you don't feel like my NPCs are picking on you too much. Just you kind of slipped into the role of the
I like it.
of the underdog, so they're gonna pick on you.
No, that's fine.
Whether it's true or not, they see you as the weakest link.
Right. Well, it does say leadership potential. It doesn't say your actual leadership.
True.
It just means that you have the potential to lead. I simply opt not to, usually.
Well, perhaps if you live long enough, you'll come into your own.
Yeah. Not planning on it, but yeah. You recall back at the village, I said we're all gonna die. Maybe I'll slip into a little bit of madness. Who knows? It's all fun.
You have been a bit panicky. Excuse me.
Move along. Play my character.
There's been a long line of dramatic Barbasol accidental deaths. Barbasol line the Barbasol name is cursed. So I have come to terms long ago with my death. It is the spirit that matters. It's the spirit that continues on.
Right. I need to check here. Okay, no, that's fine. I'll keep that chart there. I just need to remember how the to-hit system works in this game. That's right. Okay, no, that's the wrong chart. There it is, combat. All right, it's weapon class versus armor class, and then there's a minimum number you have to roll to hit. Okay, cool. And then damage types were down there. That's right. Cool. Oh, holy shit.
Sounds like something.
Just want to make sure I remember that. Yeah, okay, cool. Just want to make sure I understand how the damage works. This is very much a learning process, so.
Yes.
What does it mean? Like, okay, the longbow does 1 to 8 damage, you roll a d8, but what about these things where it just says 15? Does that just mean it does 15 damage, period?
Maybe. What page are you on?
Page 21 of the PDF, which is page 19 of the book.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, like, if you look there, right? So, spear does 1 to 6 against humanoid beings. Vibroblade does 12. Oh yeah, it does say here, while not made as weapons, will, when used as such, cause a stated number of points of damage. Okay, so it just does a set number of damage. Vibroblade does 12 points. Vibrosaw does 15. Okay, good to know. Oh wait, that's against humanoid beings. Against true humans, it does more. 18 points for a Vibrosaw against true humans, because they're soft, I guess. You guys are true humans.
True humans
Mhm.
versus, what was the other type of human?
Humanoid beings. I think that would be like a mutated human.
Gotcha.
And then there's mutated creatures. So,
Well, mutated creatures could be like fungus or frogs or whatever. Horses that bite.
yeah, I know what mutated means.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Cool.
Too much technology. I can't look at that part. It's not for me.
Too much what?
Technology, I don't want to look at that part. It'll spoil it for me.
Don't worry about
I don't know what that is. What is vibro?
it. What is a disruptor pistol?
What?
None of that's, I don't think, are coming to play in this game session anyway.
Right.
Let's keep it going.
One of the miniatures that I was considering.
Tell John
like
if he shakes it more than 3 times, he's playing with himself.
Yeah. He, not necessarily that John has okayed this, but like in my head, certain guys using assault rifles as clubs, holding the barrel pointed towards themselves.
Not knowing what it is.
Right.
Sure. If you were like a primitive human and you found a laser rifle, what would you do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it probably wouldn't even be a very efficient club either, for that matter. So.
No, but if it's all you have, that you can lift and carry.
It's only a matter of time before somebody accidentally pulls the trigger and then remember what it does.
Right. Every time you hit somebody, you roll to see if the trigger gets pulled.
Did he fall in?
Yeah, he needed to take a minute.
Is he on the phone with his girlfriend?
No. Maybe. I know earlier I had to take a minute and catch up on my Clash of Clans. I hadn't spent time with it for 2 days.
During the game?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Earlier.
Oh, you play Clash of Clans in the bathroom is what you're saying?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Never played it. Don't know anything about it. I've pretty much given up all video games in my RPG pursuits lately, so.
I'd imagine. And that's basically kind of where I'm at. It's like owning a game store, it's even hard to play games with people anymore. It's hard to spend time. I'm just trying to learn to market and to get in touch with people. It's kind of where I'm at. Websites, and then I field the calls when I get them for my computer stuff.
Mm-hmm. There he is.
Sorry. And being newly married with 2 kids, there's always a kind of a honey-do list, which is kind of cool.
Yep, I know all about it.
Yeah, sounded like that earlier when I was talking to you.
Okay, so carrying on. We've traveled through the morning with no problems, no issues, until, as you're walking along, you just momentarily hear a cracking sound, and you feel, like a crack in the air, like a whip is cracked. And I'll pick one at random here. So There's 4 of you left now?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's Northwood. And a vine snaps out and wraps around Northwood's leg. And let me see what kind of damage that's going to do. I'm going to give that...
Quick! I'm going to draw my sword.
D6 damage. So Northwood takes that many points of damage as he gets dragged towards this large, kind of like a giant Venus flytrap looking thing with tentacly vines coming out of it and a big gaping maw. And you know what? I forgot to check. Oh, yeah. Initiative works on dexterity, doesn't it? So what are your dexterity numbers?
15.
10.
So dexterity order will go Kamel, and then the rest, and then the creature. So Kamel, you have, the surprise round is over. The thing has grabbed Northwood and is pulling it towards him. I'm going to say it's probably about, 30 feet away from you. And what would you like to do, Kamel?
I'm going to attempt to move in to try and sever I'm going to try and leap as fast as I can to try and sever the vine that's got Northwood's leg.
Okay, excellent. So you need to make an attack roll. You have a class 3 weapon, your sword, yep.
Uh-huh.
And the armor class of this thing is going to be... Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll. I'm going to say it has an armor class 4. You need to roll a 13 or higher on your 3d6.
I got an 11.
So you're hacking at it, but you're just not cutting through it. It's pretty thick and pretty taut at the moment. And Northwood's screaming. He's like, "Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!" And all he has is Northwood has an axe, yeah. But he's trying to fumble to try to reach for it. What would you like to do? I'll let you go next, Barbasol, before I do the other two.
Can I reach and dive for Northwood to try to get some grip and grab and try to hold him back?
You want to do a grapple? Okay. Yeah, I'll say you can grab him, and then we'll do... how do I want to determine this? Let's see.
Use my strength.
So we're going to say you have to roll 3d6. You have to roll under your strength, and if the creature, in order to succeed, if the creature succeeds, it's still grappling Northwood. If you succeed, you're still grappling Northwood. And whoever has the highest roll, if you both succeed, wins. Okay, what'd you get?
11.
Okay, you both succeeded. What's your strength roll? Your strength score? I mean?
10.
Oh, you failed. Sorry. Okay, so you're trying, but the creature still continues to pull him forward because it did succeed on its roll. So it's still pulling him. You grab his hands, and then they slip out of your hands as it continues to pull him towards it.
Help, Max!
Max says, "Oh, shit," and he runs up and starts to try to stab at the tentacle with his spear. So his spear is a class 2 weapon, so he needs a 14 or better to hit. That's not going to do it. I got a 5. So he's just trying to stab this moving tentacle and just like stabbing into the ground with a spear, looking like an idiot. And Northwood himself he finally manages to thumb his axe loose. And next turn, he'll be able to try to take swings with his axe, try to cut himself free. So then it's the creature's turn. Oh, and look at you guys all piled up in one nice little area. That's perfect. That's perfect. So the mouth, and it's pulling him towards it. So it's now about 20 feet. I'm going to say it's pulled him about 10 feet in its direction. So you guys are about 20 feet from the mouth now as the mouth opens up. And this thing, like at full height, is about 10 feet tall. And the head itself is probably about 5 feet in diameter, nearly, or width or whatever. And the mouth opens up, and this spore-like spray gases out and covers in a cloud around you guys.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
It's like Jim.
This is going to be poison saves. Here's the poison chart. And, okay, there's the poison class I was thinking. Right. So, how does this work now? Strength of poison versus your constitution score. Oh, yeah, right. There is no save. Is that right?
Probably. Probably not.
Isn't there a save for poisons? Hold on. Okay. Poison has no given effect. Oh, yeah. So poison charge is used to see if you survive being in contact with poison. I guess maybe I should roll to see if it hits. But it's pretty easy. Okay, I'll roll to see if it hits. Because it doesn't look like there is any kind of saving throw. It's just, here's your constitution score.
It didn't seem like there was a saving throw when we played with Jim.
Yeah, I thought I read somewhere about poison saves in the rules. That's why I was looking for a saving throw, but oh yeah, it's gonna hit. Okay, so what's your constitution, Barbasol?
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that means there's no effect. Is that right? That symbol means the poison has no given effect, so it doesn't affect you. What's your constitution? Your constitution is even higher. Yeah, it has no effect on you either. So it does, however, have an effect on both Max and Northwood. You could do 2 dice of damage against each of them. So that's going to do 10 points on Northwood. And it's going to do 6 points on Max. And they both begin kind of choking and gagging a bit from the spores that they've inhaled. And we go back up to the top of the order. So Kamel.
Do this.
You're just shrugging off this poison gas from this creature.
Eating it in. I'm like, I'm blowing smoke rings out of it. Come on, let's get some heat. 13. Not so great.
I think, wasn't it 13 what you needed to hit?
It was, yeah, it was 13.
So
I have hit it.
So you have hit it, so you do damage. What's the damage of your weapon against mutated creatures or whatever?
1 to 4.
So roll a d4.
Kind of weird, because I had always just assumed all of this was d6. I didn't know there were actually d4s used in the game.
Now,
Yeah, I know. 4!
It's possible that I am not reading this correctly, but I think I'm doing it right. Okay, you do 4 points of damage. Does not cut through the tentacle.
And I'm not saying it's a correction thing, but what I remember when we were rolling damage when we played Jim is that was the number of dice you rolled, and you added the total up. When we were doing things, he would be like, roll 3 dice and add it up when we did damage.
I'm just looking at the damage chart, though. It says 1 to 4, and it does say in the description, I do believe, not saying that Jim doesn't know how to play his own game or anything, far be it from me to say, but it does say,
Tell us how many points of damage are possible from each hit. The appropriate
for instance, 1 to 8 means an 8-sided die is cast, and the result is the number of hit points sustained in the attack.
Yeah, okay.
So
the damage is similar to old school D&D, where every weapon has a D whatever value.
Almost every weapon. Poison does dice of damage. Mental attacks and radiation attacks do dice of damage. Yeah,
Maybe
radiation. Okay, so next after Kamel is we'll go to you first, Barbasol, since you and the other two are all on 10. What are you going to do, Barbasol? He has cut into the tentacle, but not through the tentacle with his sword.
Try to pull Northwood back now that the tentacle's more weak.
Okay.
Better grapple.
Okay, roll again. We'll do the same thing again. Roll 3d6. You want to roll equal to or under your strength score. What's your strength?
9. 10.
Nope. You get a hold of him now. You've got a good hold of him, but it's also got him.
Okay.
And it's not letting you pull him away. It seems to be kind of almost just holding position there, keeping you right in the cloud of poisonous gas. And next then will be Max, who swings his spear, trying to stab this thing again. No, you know what? Screw that. Max is going to charge towards the creature to get out of the cloud of poison and try to stab it directly with the spear. And it's a 7, so he's going to miss. He poking at it with a spear, but not piercing it. He is still going to take more poison damage because he still has the spores that he swallowed inside of him. So he's going to take another 8 points of poison damage. And then Northwood also is still in the cloud, so he's going to take another 8 points of poison damage. And Northwood on his turn now, he's got his axe loose, and I'm going to give him I'm going to add 2 to the difficulty of his swing just because he's like on his back trying to swing at this tentacle that's gripping his own foot. So you have to be extra careful. That's an 11. That's not going to cut it. Nope.
It won't cut his foot off?
No, he didn't fumble. I mean, maybe if I rolled like 3 1s or something. But
maybe you should aim for his leg. Maybe that's easier to cut off.
No. He's not trying to cut his own leg off yet. He hasn't given up on the leg. Then the plant monster gets to go. And this time, the plant monster is going to do a little something different because you're already in the cloud of poison. So 2 more tentacles are going to come up. And it's going to also attempt to bite at Max, who's now in its face. So I'm going to say it can do 1 bite attack and 1 tentacle attack, actually. So it'll do a tentacle attack against one of you two. I'm going to roll odd or even. With Philip being the odd one. It's going to go for Barbasol. I always tell Philip he's odd.
Mm-hmm.
So Barbasol gets attacked with a tentacle. That's a 9. That's going to fail. So you manage to dodge it as it lashes out and tries to grab you like it's grabbed Northwood below you. And then we're back to the top of the order with Carmel again.
Miserable 6.
Oh, yep. Again, you're hacking at it, but you just can't seem to hit the same spot. And
very resilient, tough material.
Yes, it is, apparently so. So, Barbasol, your turn.
A bone sword.
Fortunately, this poisoned gas is ineffectual against you two, so.
Yeah.
It's your turn, Barbasol.
Oh,
Barbie, come on.
Wrench that axe out of Northwood's hands and give me the axe. I'll do this. Test his faith. Leadership test.
Okay. Well, actually, there is a leadership thing in here. I think it's a percentile base. Let me just check. What's your leadership?
Okay. Turn over.
Next character.
No, what I'm saying is that would have been it. You'd have been maybe able to get the axe from him and then back.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a 3d6. Sorry. I'll just do it that way again.
10.
10. And what's your leadership score?
14.
Oh, yeah. He lets go of the axe. Okay. Just don't take my leg. So go ahead and roll your attack.
Well,
I'll call that a free action. You can swing the axe.
Okay.
You're calling that a free action?
Yeah.
Okay.
How very unward-like of you.
Yeah. He kept the pace going real good. It's nice, but we did die quickly, like I said. What did I need to roll? High number? 8, 9, 10,
13
11?
or higher.
Nope.
I got 11.
Okay. You guys just cannot cut through this tentacle.
This thing
Maybe
is just stuff.
I might have made this monster a little too strong for you.
That's fine.
That's okay. We're okay with dying. It's part of the game.
Northwood no longer has a weapon, but he does take poison damage, another 8 points. He's starting to turn kind of green or kind of purple. He's not breathing very well. He's coughing and spitting up a little bit of blood, and you see he's spitting up some of the spores that he swallowed along with clumps of blood with it. And he doesn't have a weapon anymore, so he's not going to be able to make an attack. So Max will try to stab it with his spear again. And Max will not. He's out of the cloud now for a round, so he's not going to take any more poison damage.
Leadership potential.
Max rolls a 10, so he's still stabbing at it with the spear, but he can't get through it, and the mouth is moving side to side. And then it's the creature's turn. So the creature tries to bite Max. Oh, shit. That's an 18. I rolled 3 6s.
Ooh.
Do you guys know, does Jim have a critical hit system that he used at all?
I do not know. I mean,
I don't think so, but I don't know.
It's hard to tell. I don't know the rules inside and out. I know that he plays everything very loose and fast. So, if he'd have rolled an 18, I imagine something was dying.
What are the chances of rolling 3 6s on 3d6? About
It's low.
It's pretty low.
120 to 1 or something like that?
I can't remember, but
6 times 5 is 30. 30 times 4 is 120. That's my guess. Yeah, okay. It the mouth comes down, snaps down on Max, closes around his waist, snaps his spear in half, and you see the haft go flying away, and then it just raises its head up and starts to swallow him whole. And it makes another tentacle attack, this time at Kamel. That's a 7, so it's going to miss you, Kamel. And it's your turn then, Kamel.
Here comes a 15. Come on, baby. Or a 10.
So you're hacking and you miss. Hacking and not missing, but yeah, you just can't cut through it.
Is it still pulling him closer?
No, it's actually trying to keep him right where it is in the cloud of spores.
It's just holding there? Okay.
Yeah, it's showing signs of intelligence. And that will make it then Barbasol.
all right. One last chance for Northwood. Yay! 16.
16. Okay, give me some damage. You're using the axe, so that does, I think it's a d6 damage.
Okay.
You see here, normal axe. Yeah, 1 to 6.
2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. You cut it a little bit more. You think about when you're cutting through a thick rope and it starts to, fray in spots, but it's still holding on.
Sorry, Northwood. You can't be saved.
And Northwood takes another 7 points of poison damage, and he coughs up a big chunk of blood and expires.
Run away!
And the plant monster, you see its head is cocked back, and you can see Max's legs sticking out from about the knees now. And then it just and you see the boots slip on into the mouth, and Max has disappeared from sight. And it gets one more tentacle attack against Kamel one more time. Try to grapple another one of you. It's an 11. Nope, it missed.
Thank God for cured hides. Keeps you from those grappling attacks.
So, Kamel, it's your turn.
I'm disengaging. I'm going to run.
You're going to run away? Okay, Barbasol.
We're not winning this.
Yes, as well.
You're going to run away?
Just died. We just watched.
I'll take his pack and run.
Yeah.
Now you'll take the pack and run.
You grab Northwood's pack and run?
Yeah, we're supposed to take as many packs with us as possible, according to Max's memory. I'll carry on your leadership there, Max.
Well, you're winning the game then, because you now have 3, Barbasol.
Exactly.
Give me one.
Give him the bloody one.
I'll say you guys can get away in a way. The creature, it doesn't seem to be mobile in the sense that it doesn't walk around. It just seems to be in that location. So kind of like a roper, it has its range of attacks, but it cannot follow you.
Maybe 2 out of 4 is not bad.
It's happy. It got lunch.
Was there any tell that we'll be able to identify these types of things in the future to possibly avoid them?
Well, you got a good view of what the plant itself looks like. Like when you first walked by, it just looked like some kind of a strange plant. But you can definitely look out for plants of that shape in future. And you may also want to look out for vines on the ground.
Gotcha.
Chalk it up as a learning experience.
Absolutely.
You never saw one of those things before.
No. Vines on the ground. Use the axe.
Always kill it.
I guess I'll be walking with the axe in hand for a while.
Okay, yeah, you've got an axe now.
Good thing you convinced him to give you that.
I know, that's what I said. I didn't want him to get swallowed. I wanted the axe to stay with the party.
So, what do you guys do after you run away for a little while, catch your breath?
Yeah, keep an eye out for more vines, obviously, as we move.
Okay. You walk on a bit further then. You're probably pretty hungry.
Yeah, we'll devour the contents of the pack.
If you can eat after that, but...
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah, I can eat.
I was sad about the guy who disappeared in the middle of the night with no fight. These guys at least fought, and I wasn't, Max.
And we didn't like Max anyway, so we're okay with it.
Yeah.
Back to being the leader.
And now it's just the two of you. So you eat and you travel on a bit further. Do you just continue northeast through the woods, or do you think you'd like to try to make your way back to find the path like you were looking for before?
I think that's what we should do. Go.
I'm not trying to sway your decision either way.
I thought it was a good idea from the start, but I wasn't going to fight with Max. I wasn't going to allow inter-party stuff to squabble. That's why I agreed to go along. Because there were 3 of them and 2 of us. But now that it's just the 2 of us, what do you think? Do you think we should try my original plan? I'm pretty sure this wouldn't have happened if, I'm pretty sure that Clip Clop Chop Chop would not have allowed this monster to live.
I don't know. What are the 3 dangers of the Northeast Wood? We've got the tree devouring guy, and then the
ROUSs?
Yeah.
I don't think they exist.
Yeah. I think we're safer.
Some unusual size? I don't think they exist.
No, path sounds good. I have to take a bio. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, how you like it? I mean, it seems like it's pretty cut and dried based system.
It's pretty easy once you start getting into it. There's still some stuff I haven't read and I don't understand yet, but which is why I'm not really messing around with like mutants too much at the moment. But
no, I gotcha. It's I think the big reason Philip was pushing to do this is mostly spark our creative juices about the project. The project is super cool, but as neither one of us have really played it all that much, it's kind of hard to, conjure inspirato. It's like, well, Jim's he's kind of particular about things, but he's more particular about what he doesn't want after you've done it. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, just make something that'll be great, but now do this instead. Well, no, I don't like that part or whatever. So it's a little hard to come up with things out of my brain. My 43-year-old brain is not nearly as creative as it once was. So
right.
I think Philip thinks that this might help. We were discussing this at breakfast yesterday, that since I haven't really role played the last 2 years anyway, that
I did just notice we're actually doing attack rolls incorrectly.
Okay.
They're supposed to be rolled on a d20.
They're supposed to be rolled on a d20.
Yeah. Generation random number from 1 to 20.
It's weird because I can tell you that when we played the one shot with him, we all only had 3 6-sideds. That was it.
Okay. I'm just saying rules is written, it says 1 to 20. But that's okay. Yeah. We live and learn. So you guys are then going to start making your way. Okay, you've been heading northeast from where you, if you want to remember, you were at the village. You went northwest a little ways, a couple kilometers to see Clip Clop Chop Chop. And then you've traveled since then. You've been traveling northeast for the last day and a half. Clip Clop Chop Chop had his path was kind of traveling east to west. As far as you never followed it very far, so you don't know, where else it would have gone beyond that. So do you want to just turn back south? Do you want to go back southwest? Do you want to go southeast?
Well, the path is southeast. Is that the idea?
No, what he's saying is the path mostly goes
The
east-west.
path is running kind of east to west as far as you know around the village area.
It's supposed to be going northeast.
And the northeast was the possible promised land.
That's just what Durham had said. There was rumors of a place, yeah.
Can we abandon Durham's idea and just go the path of our god?
I think that's what.
Because nobody has returned from the northeast. Just those rumors.
Maybe it's just better in the northeast, and maybe they never return because our village sucks. Eating mud sucks. It's not fun. I don't know. These are big choices that we have to make. Roll a d4. My problem is that I'm metagaming. like, you know what I mean?
We have
obviously this thing has a docking station where its power supply must be, and something like that. I think that's what I'm doing.
Well, I'm not necessarily metagaming. My character never really wanted to venture too far anyways, and I am more fascinated with the idea of my god, and I would think that the paths that my god traveled are safer than this northeast forest that we've already experienced hardship in. And
it would be interesting to see where your god went, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so there you go. So how do you want to head back? Do you want to head back southeast? So you're still kind of heading east, or do you just want to go straight south? Or do you want to completely backtrack?
I think
west.
Backtracking would probably be the safest.
I think that's the safest way also, completely the way we already came. We already know there was no problem getting to where we're at.
Well, we already know.
Except for the giant plant monster and something in the trees that ate one of your companions.
Yes.
Right, but there's more
Aside
of
from
that.
Aside from that, there were no issues.
There's more of that shit the further you get from home. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And now that we're going to be using the proper die to actually attack things, maybe that plant wouldn't have been so impressive.
Okay. So as you travel back, you make a point to go around the area where the Venus flytrap plant monster was.
Yes.
So you can travel for several more hours before it starts to get dark, and you probably want to make camp. Because it is pretty dangerous to try to travel. It gets really dark here in the thick forest at night. So, and then it'll take you pretty much all of the next day to get back to where Clip Clop Chop Chop was. That day and a half are going to pass without any further encounters since you've already traveled this way once. When you get back to the clearing site where Clip Clop Chop Chop has crashed into the tree, you see a strange sight that you're not expecting. You see several men, it looks like there are 4 of them, wearing some kind of strange, glistening, shiny hides or something. And they are, like, one of them is actually perched on top of Clip Clop Chop Chop and has like a panel of him open and is messing around inside and taking things out of him and tossing them aside. 2 others are standing down below, and they're currently piling up the bodies of your warriors who were protecting Clip Clop Chop Chop and who are obviously all dead. And yet another one is leaning against a tree, not too far from where you are. He hasn't noticed you yet because you're woodsman and you're stealthy, and he's taking a leak.
So there was a total of 4, you said?
4, yep. There's one leaning against a tree, not too far from where you are now, probably about maybe 40 feet from where you're currently at.
And they killed how many people? He's
taking a piss. They're wearing this weird shiny clothing or whatever. Actually looks kind of similar to, Clip Clop Chop Chop's hide. There's 2 standing over not too far from Clip Clop Chop Chop, so they're probably about 70 feet from your current location, and they're making a pile of the warriors' bodies, your tribesmen.
How many were there? Tribesmen?
Warriors? 6. And there's one on top of Clip Clop Chop Chop at the moment. It looks like he's doing some kind of surgery to him or something.
Stay stealthy.
Yeah, keep trying to sneak. We can't take.
Not move closer. Maybe even move back. This looks. I mean, if they killed 6 of our warriors, and they're obviously agents of some other god or deity that destroyed Clip Clop Chop Chop. You know, like scavenging vultures. I mean, that are eating them, and they obviously know what they're doing to our god. They don't have the fear and respect. Yeah, I'm angry. So, like, part of me wants to attack, but at the same point, I see that they're stacking up our warriors, and I go with my previous experiences that I couldn't chop through a vine to save anybody's life. So I'm going to stealthily. I want to observe, but not engage.
Okay. So you pretty much nearly freeze. You don't want to move, make any noise, and draw any attention.
Exactly.
Yes. Strangely, they don't seem to have any weapons, at least not any weapons that you would recognize. They do have some kind of, they're carrying some kind of items that you have no idea what they are. They're strangely shaped, and they're on some kind of straps that they wear over their shoulders. And the guy finishes taking his piss, and he turns back around, and he goes back out, and you know, where they've piled the 6 men in a pile. They then go over, and they seem to be talking to the other one in a language you don't understand. In fact, it's probably so muffled it'd be hard for you to hear. Do you want to try to move closer to be able to hear what they're saying, or do you want to just stay where you are and observe from this 70-foot distance? You're still in the dense woods, whereas they're in the clearing, kind of by Clip Clop Chop Chop.
I'm content with the idea. So they've moved away far enough that I could kind of talk to him without them hearing.
Yeah, if you can talk in whispers.
Should we wait them out and track them?
I think we should wait them out at least and see what happens. I don't know about tracking them. Just
wait them out, see what happens. Not necessarily. We don't need to move closer to here. No, don't need to move closer to here.
Okay, and after a while,
we're such pussies.
You can see that the other 3 are picking up the parts that the one that's mounted on top of Clip Clop Chop Chop has been tossing aside. They're picking up pieces and standing kind of below, like handing things up to him when he asks for them. And then eventually you hear a and Clip Clop Chop Chop powers up again.
What?
The lights come on and start to rotate. It kind of jerkily moves away and steadies itself, hovering above the ground again, moving back into the clearing, away from the tree it had crashed into. The manipulating tentacles retract back in. The guy, you know, they hand a big metal plate up to him, and he puts it back on, and he seems to be doing something with some kind of tools you've never seen before, and reattaching this piece of Clip Clop Chop Chop's hide back onto him. And then he jumps back down to where the 3 men are below. Sorry, what?
Nothing. I said our God. Our God is alive.
God is alive.
And then he gets up, and you see he says something to Clip Clop Chop Chop, and Clip Clop Chop Chop then moves over and with the manipulating arms picks up the bodies of the tribesmen and tosses them off into the tree beyond the trees, out of the clearing, and begins to do something. Looks like it's like cleaning the mess where the bodies were and cleaning the grass and stuff. And then the 4 of them like kind of observe for a little while, and after a while, Clip Clop Chop Chop goes back to doing what he's always done. You know, you've been watching probably for about nearly an hour at this point, and they seem to turn. They start walking back up the walking east along the trail, the Clip Clop Chop Chop Trail, as it's come to be known.
Do you want to return to the village as victors?
I think that might be our smartest play. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I heard him.
Yeah.
Claim victory and return to the village.
Sure.
You sure?
I think so.
What's our story for the troops and everything else?
That we prayed mightily. We went there and prayed mightily, and Clip Clop Chop Chop just needed a blood sacrifice of Max, Marley, and Northwood. They did. Their efforts didn't go in vain. Clip Clop Chop Chop is alive.
So you return to the village. The village, you know, is only about 2 kilometers from here, so you can be there in less than an hour.
We should do that.
Okay, you get back to the village, and people are, they've returned already so soon. You guys have been gone, what, about 3 days? A little more?
Something like that.
And people start to gather around you. What's going on? Asking questions. What happened? Where's Max and Marley and Northwood? And is Clip Clop Chop Chop going to be okay? And what did you find? And Durham, of course, comes out and tries to calm the people down. He says, please, give them some room, let them speak. And he invites you to kind of come and stand up on the little kind of podium staged little area where he usually does his speeches to the people of the village. And he says, Kamel, you've returned to us.
I have good news. Our God is alive.
People cheer and shout and start, giving out prayers and religious exclamations. How have you done this? What happened? How have you achieved this?
We went deep into the woods.
There were many dangers that Clip Clop Chop Chop has protected us and shielded us from.
Things that we don't even know. We didn't even know that Clip Clop Chop Chop was protecting us from these things. The woods to the north is terrifying.
People of this village are never traveling into the woods to the north again. Tell us of these dangers.
Recite the stories, how we bravely fought, and even though the poison came to us and we choked a little bit, our bodies were hale and withstood the poisons, and sure, we'll even say that Max sacrificed himself
nobly sacrificed himself
so that we could escape.
What do you tell them about Northwood?
That he fell ill to the poisons.
And what of Marley?
Something in the night took him. We woke up to find him gone. Blood. Things up in the trees.
And what was the solution? What did you do to revive our god?
Don't ask me.
I believe that the faith that we stepped forward with is what provided it. That our God wanted to test and see if we would be willing to venture forth and to risk our lives. And the lives that did fall, I think he revived himself. It was more of a blood sacrifice.
I think that's a good idea.
I see. So you really did nothing but venture into the woods?
We took those steps of faith, yes.
A few men were killed, and it was enough to prove to Clip Clop Chop Chop that our resolve was still strong. It's fortunate that we got the two of you back. What of the men we sent to guard Clip Clop Chop Chop? Where are they?
When we returned, they were gone. I don't know, maybe Clip Clop Chop Chop sent them on to a mission of their own.
Perhaps we will see them again one day.
It seems they have abandoned us for now, but maybe they will return.
One day I imagine they shall return. Many stories.
Well, it seems you are heroes. We must have a feast,
Sounds good.
a celebration on this day when you came back to us and restored our god. The village can continue to prosper. The people will continue to grow. But we will never again venture into the forest to the north of Clip Clop Chop Chop Trail.
I think that's a good idea.
And so they'll have a nice little kind of Return of the Jedi, big celebration for you guys. There'll be dancing and singing and food and drink.
Walks.
No, there's no Ewoks. Fuck that. But they have a nice big tribal celebration. You guys are heroes, and you survive your first adventure.
Yay!
Metamorphosis Alpha. But this will only be the first. I definitely want to do some more of this as I read more of the book and get to understand more of this stuff.
Yeah.
Perhaps with these characters or perhaps with other characters in different locations. We'll see.
Well, these characters would definitely have their interest spiked. Their faith is actually more atheistic than it used to be, I'd imagine. And now we're more curious about what really is out there, because if we could be as powerful as those that were on top of Clip Clop Chop Chop.
So why don't we, in closing, you guys can go one at a time, just kind of give me an idea as to what your character is thinking at the end of this night after all of his experiences, and if there's anything you want to say in outro as well. So you can go ahead and go first again, Philip.
He's thinking that it's possible he was wrong regarding the gods because he prayed to the tree spirit and the tree spirit betrayed him. He touched his previous god. There was no lightning strike from the blasphemy. His god was cold and dead as far as he could tell. His prayers have basically gone unanswered. The northeast is definitely dangerous. So Clip Clop Chop Chop definitely serves us when he's actually functional, but it seems that there are either some other gods that are more powerful or some other beings that are capable of killing people without, it seemed there was none of them injured, as while 6 of our tribesmen were there, and they spoke some different language, but they're obviously above, beyond us, and very curious to explore. I don't think my character will be content staying in the village.
Cool. Okay, John?
Kamal makes, because he's a pretty smart guy, he figures that at some point the village is going to figure out that we haven't been exactly truthful and we must leave. We will probably have to leave, and it's better to leave on good terms than to be forced to leave. Lost audio on that one.
Yeah, so it'd help if I unmuted my mic, sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Very good. Well, thanks for introducing me to this game. Definitely want to do this some more with you guys, and maybe some other players too, if we can get them to show up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And just one thing I just want to say in outro, like I said earlier, John and Philip here run a company called Effin' Cool Minis, so check them out. Check out their Kickstarters. They are now going to be making miniatures for Metamorphosis Alpha. So I look forward to doing more of these games with you guys to hopefully maybe inspire your creative juices. Get the creative juices flowing. Yeah, something like that.
That's a term. That's not a weird thing, Ian. I think you hit the right term.
We've been translating.
I want to help to pitch your creative tents. So.
Oh, my tent is pitched.
On that note, thank you for watching this game on Fantastic Dimensions, and we'll see you next time.